Hello, everyone. My name is Shannon Logan, and I'm the owner of Truecore in Annapolis, Maryland. And we are blessed to be able to talk to one of our outstanding members today, Miss Margo Cook. Hi, Margo.
Hi, Shannon.
Would you mind just kind of introducing yourself and giving some background about yourself?
Sure. So, my name is Margo, and I am a mom of two kids, and I'm also a professional in the Annapolis community. And I was brought to Truecore because I had been unsuccessfully trying to get really excited about working out after I had two children, and somebody had suggested to me that there was no better place to be than Truecore.
Oh, well, that's a kind thing to say. Thank you. Before you joined Truecore, what was your health and fitness like?
So I had had two children, and unlike some people who, after breastfeeding, lose a lot of weight, I was one of those lucky women that during breastfeeding had gained a lot of weight. It actually happens surprisingly to like more than 5% of women. We just don't talk about it.
Mm,
So I had been feeling not so great about myself because previous to having children, I was one of those people who I had played sports growing up. And so I hadn't really tried very hard to stay in shape, but I had always liked the way that I looked. Right. And so not liking the way that I looked was a really new, awful thing to experience. And
mm,
because I never had to work out to like the way that I looked, it was really challenging for me to find a gym. Right. I was trying to look for gyms close to my house, but I would join and I would walk into the gym and there would be all this equipment and I didn't know how to use it and I felt like everybody was staring at me. They weren't, but that's how it felt. So I would then just like run on the treadmill and I hate running. And then I would leave and it didn't impact the way that I looked. I didn't understand how to eat properly. I didn't understand how to use the equipment. And so I kept trying and failing at getting back in shape.
yeah, that it's quite common. What were some of those specific challenges that you faced?
So specifically, I think I didn't understand how important nutrition was in the process. I also didn't understand that lifting weights actually helps you look the way that you want to look because this may be a little stereotypical to say, but I think as women growing up in the age group that I'm in my mid 30s, we never really were taught that weightlifting was a way to be in shape, right? We were taught that running and biking and exercising was the way to be in shape. So I didn't know how to get back in shape. I thought that going running would be the way to do it, but I dislike running more than anything. So it was like I was forcing myself to do something that I really disliked to get into shape, and it just really wasn't working.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What was the worst part about working out back then?
I didn't like it. Like I had to like make myself go, right? And I also didn't feel so great afterwards because I wasn't getting a good workout. So like I would go spend an hour doing something I didn't like and then it was really hard to get motivated to go back again because I was forcing myself to do something that I didn't enjoy.
And how long would you say you've been looking for a change once you started Trooper? Like, how long have you been in that process of trying to figure it out?
It was at least a year. I would say probably closer to a year and a half. So I had joined three different gyms because every time I thought like, oh, this one, it has a pool, right? I'm gonna like this one more. But what I didn't realize was that it wasn't the gym's fault, right? It was my lack of knowledge and training and resources to use all the things that they had. Right. So I was coming in there, but I just didn't know how to use the equipment and I didn't know how to do it. So it wasn't that I could find a better regular gym. It was that a regular gym wasn't for me.
Mm, gotcha, gotcha. So why did you decide to work with us then?
So my friend Andrea just convinced me, right? She said, come to my gym. And then she told me that you guys were a CrossFit gym. And I was like, absolutely not. Like I never thought of myself as the kind of person that would be doing CrossFit. So I had said, no, no, no. And finally one day she convinced me, just come with me, just come once and see how you feel about it. So I really did not think that this was going to be it for me. I thought I was going to come and I was going to embarrass myself and then I was going to leave. That's how I thought it was going to go down. But I had a really opposite experience to that. It was like it was like I came in and there were all these really nice people who didn't care about how good I was at what we were doing. They were just happy to see me. And then there were people there to actually help me learn how to work out. So I think of it as like group personal training. That was my experience, because it was almost as if I was coming into a group class where there was one person focused on helping me figure out how to do the workout. And then there were a bunch of really nice people who were there working out themselves, who weren't staring at me like I felt like was happening in the other gym. They were just hanging out at the same time, working out at the same time as me. And it was super fun.
I love to hear it was super fun. What got you off the fence to actually try?
So what got me off the fence to actually try was that first interaction, because I didn't feel like I wasn't going to like it. And I didn't feel like I wasn't going to get a good workout. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to try it for a couple months, and then I'm going to see what happens.
So how have our services helped you then?
So in a million different ways. So the first thing is I did a nutrition challenge and learned how to eat properly, right? Which is a lot of the battle, but most of us don't realize that we don't know what we're doing because there's all these fad diets out there, right? So that was one way. The second way was, it was the first time in my life I figured out how to lift weights. And apparently that's what's best for my body. So like, you know, I had no idea that by lifting weights and using barbells and doing all the things that we do at CrossFit, that I was going to see almost an immediate change in my body structure. I mean, I'm talking about like within months. So you connect, you go there for 8 weeks and you see a really drastic change in your body. Of course, that's going to be inspiring for you to come back again. Another way is it's given me a whole group of new friends, and I'm a very social person. So that is something that's obviously added fun and value to my life. But then the final thing is, I think also people don't understand that being physically active positively impacts your mental health as well. So like going to the gym, when I would leave, it almost felt like this rush of like positive endorphins, better than all the coffee you could possibly imagine in the world, getting me excited for my day or the next day. And then I was like really looking forward to coming back because I wanted to have that feeling, right? So I think it has positively impacted me physically, emotionally, and socially.
Wow, awesome, great, fantastic. How have we possibly saved you money? So things like maybe not having to buy new clothes, or those crash diets, or wasted gym memberships. What are some ways that you think we've actually saved you some cash?
So I think that saving me money in trying to buy things that I thought would help me that don't really help me, right? So, you know, we have a lot of different ways in which we're advertised to on a regular basis. I mean, we consume all different sorts of media. They're getting really smart at the way they advertise things to us. So they advertise clothes and food and, you know, pills or whatever else is out there to be able to help you look the way that you want to look. I was able to just ignore all of that because I didn't need it, right? So I was paying one fee to come and have somebody teach me how to work out and do all the things that I needed to do. And that was all I needed.
Awesome, awesome. One stop solution, which is what we try to provide.
Yep.
How have we saved you time, peace of mind, effort? How about some of those things?
Oh, I mean, the amount of time it would take me to try to build a workout structure myself that Truecore does for me is immeasurable. I mean, I literally just show up and do what I'm told, and that's it, right? So I don't need to like think before I get there. I just have to make sure when I leave for work in the morning that I have my workout clothes with me. That's really it. I just show up. I try actually not to look at the workout before I go because then I'll scare myself. So I just like get there. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this, but it's okay because they'll show me how to do it, right? So I don't have to think through the workouts that I'm going to do. I don't have to think through what I did yesterday or the day before and making sure that what I'm doing the next day is working out some different group of muscles, right? I literally, if you're the kind of person that likes to delegate things in your life to make your life easier, Truecore is absolutely the place to go to delegate your fitness needs to.
Excellent. Excellent. I love to hear that. It means we are doing exactly what I want us to be doing. What specific results have you gotten?
So I was in the very best shape of my life before the pandemic. I mean, truly, if you look at a picture that I took in a dress that I have from college, I looked better and fitter in that dress from working out at Truecore than I did in college, which actually makes sense because if you heard me say earlier that I never used to work out, I was just like partying in college. But easy fit pre-pregnancy Margo, right? Post-pregnancy Margo, it's not as easy to look that way. But somehow I managed to get into the best shape of my life from Truecore. In the pandemic, I obviously haven't been doing as much as usual because we've been separated, but that's just a reflection of the kind of person that I am when it comes to Truecore. Like the value that Truecore supplies to me is that in-person activity. So being separated physically, Truecore still provided me with all the support to be able to do it myself, but I couldn't motivate myself to do the same amount of work that I would afar as I do in person. So now I'm just getting back into it. But the cool thing about Truecore is we all go through peaks and valleys, right? There's different things that happen in our lives that make it possible for us to be doing more there or be doing less. And nobody cares. Everybody's just thrilled to see you when you come, and they're there to cheer you on and to see you through all these different periods of your life and help you be the best that you can be.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you say you were in the best shape of your life, how long did that take you to get those results?
I would say probably 8 months, right? And it wasn't just weight, because I think that that's another thing that we get really caught up in is like our weight. Um, I probably I probably lost like 25 pounds of fat, but then gained 10 pounds of muscle. But the way that your clothes fit you when you do something like that is like hugely different, right? When you put clothes on and you feel the way they fit, you see the way that they fit, it looks completely different. All your muscles are sort of showing that work that you've done, right? And you look cut, but the weight that you lose, you may feel like you only lost 15 pounds, but you actually lost 25 pounds of fat and then gained 10 pounds of muscle. So for me, that was the outcome that I personally experienced.
It's an awesome outcome, awesome outcome. What went better than expected during the process of working with us?
There are some aerobic components to the workout. I will never forget when I first started, it was summer, it was really hot, and there was a run. And back then there was a coach who I knew from high school, and I'm running and I come back and I'm like, I'm dying. Like I hate running and it's hot. I come back and he's like, you can do this, Margo. And I said something really not nice back to him, like, cause I was dying, right? I was like, don't talk to me, whatever. 6 months later, we had the same workout, right? And I went to do the run and it was easy. And that was an unexpected outcome for me because I have never liked to run. So I was pretty convinced that it was never going to be easy. And I think that that's how we can measure our progress too, is how much easier the things that we were doing before become for us as we get more practice and more conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I apologize for a little bit of background noise. I've got my own infant next to me, get my own fitness back on track after my own pregnancy journey as well. So I can totally relate to everything that you're saying. When you think back to the beginning, how has being a member at Truecore changed the way you feel about your overall health and fitness and trying to improve it?
I think being a member of Truecore makes me feel like I have more control over that than I thought that I did. Because once you're educated and you understand how to do it, it's easier for you to make the right choices for yourself. I also think that I never thought of myself as somebody that could be a CrossFit athlete. And now I am. Like, I'm never going to be the one that's competing, trying to beat everybody because I'm not a super competitive person. But I am a CrossFit athlete because I am competing against myself, right? And so I can see my own progress, both from a capacity standpoint and from the physical outcomes, right? So that has been something that has surprised me along the way. And then I think it's just made me sort of a better health consumer in general, right? So now when I'm going to get my annual physical, I know what are the targets that I want to be in from a health perspective, right? Not just my weight, but all the other things that we want to make sure are healthy for ourselves, our heart, right? Cholesterol, blood pressure, everything. And that has helped me tremendously. I'm not going to be that person who's going to need medical intervention for those sorts of things because I can control it myself.
I think that is one of the most important things in general. It is exactly that. Longevity, health, quality of life, just huge. Absolutely. What would you say to another woman who is kind of stuck in her own objections and fears about getting started with us?
I would say just to go. I mean, just go, because that was the best decision that I made. I was like fighting myself on it, right? I was in my own head. I was saying, you're never going to be that person that can do that, right? You're never going to be that person that can look like that. But you totally can. You just have to go. And our CrossFit gym is not the CrossFit gym where you have all the really competitive, super obsessive athletes, right? There are a few that are working, but they're working on themselves. Like there are people there of all different sizes, shapes, experience, coordination. We're all just there working on ourselves. And there's not a single time that I have gone in there that I have left feeling badly. I have always left feeling better about myself.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Leave walking out feeling better than you walked in. That's our goal with each class. Awesome. And what is your advice to another person that might be considering whether they should be working with us or not?
I would say that you shouldn't second guess yourself. You should just make it happen and give yourself like a period of time to see the results, right? So everything takes time. So tell yourself, okay, I'm going to try this for 3 months, or I'm going to try this for 6 months and see how it goes. And as long as you're committed to doing the work, showing up, and just doing the things that you need to do, I can guarantee that you're going to see the results.
It's fantastic. Amazing. And the last thing, and I would say one of the most important questions I have, is what do you see as the long-term impact of working with us?
That's a good question. Long-term health and happiness, right? Because there's times where months have gone by and I've been unable to come in due to family or work commitments. But my intention is that over the long term, I continue to be consistent with doing this work and I'm able to keep myself healthier longer and looking the way that I want for longer as well. So I would say this group is not a one and done type of thing. If you can just consistently make a commitment to show up and do the work, you're going to look and feel the way that you want.
I love it. Margo, thank you so much, first of all, for being part of our Truecore crew. It's been an honor to work with you the past couple of years. And of course, for taking the time to be with us today. That's some great experience and feedback.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful to be a part of the group.